for it to finish. I'll see it for 2 hours.
Cool then. Right, I'm ready.
All right. You're recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. I feel
All
like
right.
I'm just gonna let Leon do the introduction.
I'll try it,
Okay.
but I don't need to do it like properly
Should we just start the film and then you can introduce as it's going?
as it's going on. All right. All right. Ready?
Yeah, I'm on 0000.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to this special episode of the Corona Cinema podcast. You saw before that Matty and Leon watched. It was Dead Man's Chest, wasn't it?
Yeah, Parts Can Read
Yeah.
Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah, but today me and Matty, I'm Ross, by the way, if you didn't realise, we're watching The Incredibles. A great film. I've wanted to do this for a while, and Mason and Leon bailed on us, so I don't know, they just chose not to. They didn't bail, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, we're gonna try and see how it works with just two people talking over the film. I think it'll be okay.
I think it should be okay. Probably seen this film enough times to quote half the film to you anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I forget about this bit at the part at the start where it's like interviews.
Yeah, the director said he added it in rather than having like a big action sequence. He wanted something that like helped you focus on the characters as the people first.
That makes sense, to be fair.
Which is quite interesting. And it's interesting how they're saying like all the things they want to do over the next few years, and none of these characters get what they want. Like what's his name? Like Frozone's going to be like a ladies' man. He wants to stay that way, and then he ends up married. Elastigirl says she's never going to hang up the costume because she wants to keep fighting crime and not leave it to the men, and then she ends up hanging up the costume and becoming a housewife. And then Mr. Incredible says he wants to settle down, but he ends up doesn't find much kind of solace in that either.
Yeah, he just wants to get back out.
Yeah. They were going to include Syndrome in this bit as well, but they felt that gave away a bit too much.
He would have been a kid at this point as well. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the style of it, so.
Yeah, it's cool. What was it, like 80s?
No, this is like 50s pretty much.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, because the whole thing was based in around the 60s. Maybe late 60s, I reckon. That's what they said.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can tell by all the cars, can't you?
The deleted scene as well for the opening was actually meant to be like a garden party.
Garden party?
Yeah, like a barbecue, like a neighbour's meet and greet.
And it's quite good as it is because I think it gives away like it shows that it's in the 50s and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
More simply.
Yeah, the garden party was meant to be like they weren't shown straight away to be superheroes, and they were kind of just like talking with like the neighbors and stuff, and then Mr. Incredible like accidentally like chopped through all his fingers with like a knife. Obviously, when he lifted like the cheese knife up, there was just like 4 little divots where his fingers were too strong to be cut through, and then some woman screamed, so he had to like pretend to be hurt and scream, and it was quite good.
Oh, that would be quite a good idea, to be fair.
And there was an interesting conversation because when Helen introduced herself as like a housewife or a homemaker, one of the women was like, gave like a hard time about it, saying she didn't want to waste her life, like the best years of her life being like a housewife. She wanted to do something with her life. And then Helen, like, it's an interesting idea, like Helen being like a superhero, but still defending like the family, like housewife, which is quite nice. And the director didn't want to lose that, but he did. But I think they made the right decision, having a bit more of a punchy opening.
Yeah. It might also be something to do with the budget.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the studio thought this was going to cost like so much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They told him it had been too. They originally told him it was too difficult to make the idea. It cost 92 million in the end to make, and it obviously it did very well. It did well enough at the box office, but not to matter.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, they thought it was gonna be like impossible to make because it would cost like $1 gazillion or something like that. They said.
And then it ended up making 633 worldwide million,
Yeah, not too
which is
bad.
just insane. But even like Toy Story 3, which came out I don't know when, like nearly 10 years later probably. That's
Yeah,
that's budget was 200 million. So those 93
pretty mad.
isn't a lot, but just seems like a lot. I think for the time.
Yeah.
And this
She's
is sick.
so fit on this bit.
Flexible.
Should be more flexible.
Yeah, when I watched this as a kid, I didn't know they knew each other. So I was like, and then when they went to get married, I was like, they don't know that each other are getting married to each other. I was like, that's insane. How can they not know?
That's mad. That's mad. I
They're
like
gonna,
that bit.
That little punch.
But yeah. Yes. I like that bit. The weddings was kind of, oh, here we go. Flexible. Oh, wow. That's why he's like, oh, are you doing anything later? Because obviously he knows.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was like, he's getting married. What the hell? Like, what the hell? Why is he asking?
It's funny.
There's also an interesting.
Why you got me first?
You see the character, like the dude that gets like handcuffed to the thing.
Yeah.
So they basically, for all of the extras, they made something called an ordinary man.
Yeah.
And then they made every character, every man and woman that wasn't a main character, out of the ordinary man. So if you look at them, they all look a little bit the same.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
Just because it was too expensive to make them all individually. So then this dude basically is made out of the other dude, and even Bernie as well. Right? Don't Bernie me. They're all made out of the same guy.
Bernie me.
And you can kind of see it with like the lips and the eyes and the nose are all a bit the same.
Yeah, it makes sense because this was the first Pixar film where they had human leads. So
really? Oh, wow.
And obviously, yeah. So like I think before this they obviously didn't do that because like say when you watch Toy Story 1, Andy's face and whatnot, they're not like animated properly.
No.
So this was like probably why it cost so much then to animate as well. And I thought it would cost so much because it was humans. Incredibly. Something happened with Bon Voyage. They were going to call him a different name. I can't remember what it is, but
it was after like a champagne or something. It's like Bon Periguini or something. I can't remember.
Something like that. But then they couldn't.
Bon Voyage is just so much better.
Bon Voyage, I like that. Yeah. Bon Voyage. Oh, it's incredible. Incredible.
This is such a nice way of introducing the main villain as well, without even.
Yeah.
It's just such an unsurreptitious way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because originally they were going to have Syndrome break into the Par's house when Violet was still a baby, and pretend to be stealing things, and then he would use his like anti-gravity things to like beat up both of them. And then he would discover the baby as well. There's a really nice scene where he holds both of them in like midair with his fingers, and then he hears the baby down the hallway. So he slowly walks down the hallway while floating Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl behind him, and discovers the baby, and then the baby's invisible. And that was going to be like the end of so basically they ended up defeating him, and that was going to be the end of Syndrome, and they were going to have a different villain in the end called Xerix, who's meant to be like an ex, like an ex boyfriend of Helen Parr's, who like aged really quickly, and so he like looked really grim basically. But I think they definitely made the right choice here.
Right choice. I think having someone who's like they used to be a fan of Mr. Incredible, like got rejected, and now he always just wanted to be a super because of that rejection. To be fair, it's like this film, like it's obviously like the best animated superhero film, but like out of like all
with me.
You're not affiliated with me. I like that. But like I think just out of all superhero films in general, this is just one of the best superhero films.
Yeah, I was thinking that today because like it's so clear cut and it's not trying to outdo any other superhero film. It's like a family film based on family struggles and dynamics with superhero things, how that affects it, rather than the other way around. Yeah, it's not superheroes are a family; it's a family who are superheroes. And that just works
It's so well thought out as well because Brad Bird, he had this idea for about 10 years before the film was actually made.
Yeah, 1993 he came up with it.
Yeah, so then he pitched the idea in 2000. It took him like 3-4 years to make it. So it's pretty insane. Flexible. You got it there.
My Disney
I like
Plus
looking at the
Go on.
I was gonna say, I like looking at the crowd on the audience on their wedding bit and seeing all the other superheroes there.
Yeah. I was reading something like, when she's talking about, Edna Mode's talking about the capes and saying like 1953, like causing a jet engine. Like half them superheroes are meant to be dead by then for some reason, but they're still at the wedding. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like a continuity error.
Yeah. I wonder what at the actual date of this bit is. Citizen Kane copied this bit, the newspaper bit.
Yeah, Citizen Kane cheated.
they went what, like 60 years into the future, so like the Incredibles did a news style report.
It does look good.
Did himself. No, it does look good actually. It's obviously inspired by that. Well, in some kind of way, I reckon.
Yeah, but it's like a nice, succinct way of like showing the severity of it and like covering like a 10-year period in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's like, then it just kind of skips forward to how they've settled in because there's no point in doing anything between that, really.
Can you pause yours for a second?
Yeah.
My Disney Plus has just stopped for the 5th time, and we are 11 minutes in, so I'm going to go on popcorn.
Fair enough.
What's happened right now? What bit are you
on? It's the bit where Mr. Incredible's at the podium, walking away.
Okay.
It's time for him to join us or go away.
That's a good one. Okay, let's try again. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be just Safari's have been a bit of a retard.
Probably, yeah. I use Chrome.
Yeah, I tried to get it working on Chrome, but it wasn't.
Can you hear my TV in the background?
Yeah. Only slightly now that I'm listening.
You just turn it down a tiny bit. Does it be in the background? Oh, sorry.
What second are you on?
2 seconds.
11:02.
Yeah. Oh, you're still gonna watch it? Huh?
I'm watching on the laptop.
Okay. Time for them to join us or go away.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
I like how the reason supers had to go into hiding wasn't because they were defeated or anything. It was just the people got rid of them.
Yeah, it's a kind of thing. It's realistic though.
Yeah, like they become.
You can imagine this kind of thing happening. Like, although they kind of, it's kind of the same thing in like Avengers or whatever. Like in Civil War, the reason they want to like be put under government control is because they're causing more destruction than
all the collateral damage.
Yeah.
15 years later.
15 years later.
I like kind of like how they made Mr. Incredible. He's still like a big guy, but he's like fat and poor posture. Doesn't quite fit in his office.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
It's all really clever. How like, he's just quite a bit out of shape. Like he used to be really good at football, but now he's not. Like American football.
Yeah.
When retired. They were doing the animation for this. They gave like anatomy books to all of the animators and helped them like basically redo how they would animate muscles underneath skin to make it much more like kind of like superhero focus, because that's what they do want. They want that kind of pop while it's still being realistic and not being realistic but almost characterful. But not being a cartoon. So it's really quite progressive.
It is quite a good because obviously realistically Mr. Incredible is like huge shoulders with like tiny legs, but they're not like so small they look stupid, but it's also kind of cartoon. Yeah, I see what they've gone for, and it works. But realistically, as I say, like this is the first time they did leads that were human, and it's very impressive.
Because you
Like
think
the
about
animation.
the Pixar films that came before this, it was what Monsters Inc., Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Nemo, and Bugs Life.
Yeah,
Nothing really comes close to anything. Yeah, like these kind of like humanoid, and they've done
yeah,
it so well. Like even look at this little dude, the insurance company boss. Like he's just
yeah,
is like a ridiculous character. Like his face is weird. He's tiny, but it works for some reason.
yeah. Sometimes I like to think who would play who in like a live action version.
Okay.
So that the little guy, I think it would just be Tyrion Lannister. What's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, it'd be quite funny.
I think he could do it
Because
well.
it'd be the same kind of character he played in Elf, like just like an angry little guy.
Mm.
Kind of funny.
They were looking at having
Wow.
like I don't think anyone really fits the build of Mr. Incredible. Like The Rock, but The Rock's got the wrong facial like profile.
Yeah, yeah.
You
it's
want
re-
like The Rock crossed with Josh Brolin, I reckon.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You
That
see?
little rat is guilty.
There, right there. He moves.
So this is Bernie was made from The Ordinary Man, and they didn't
That's
really
quite
like
funny.
having him this close to the camera because they thought like people would kind of notice. But even him and the principal are both made from The Ordinary Man. They're just distorted from
his head.
yeah. And they've done it really well.
Don't Bernie me. Guilty. Yeah, you can tell it's just a distorted head, actually. Quite funny. Smoke devil's
just-
face. Guilty, I say. Guilty, guilty.
And it's just funny because that's like every substitute teacher just losing his mind with these kids.
Yeah, it's funny.
So it's like a realistic thing, and then you just added in the small factor that he's actually super and he can't get caught. I think you definitely played Dash, wouldn't you, Ross?
Yeah, if I did live action, especially how my hair was like a few years ago, it actually looks like that as well.
Fast as fuck, boy.
That's a fuck boy. What if like the four of us were the Incredibles?
Leon would be like Violet or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's always disappearing.
Fair, yeah. So that Mr. Incredible, you'd be Mr. Incredible, and then Mason's Mrs. Incredible.
Yeah, to be fair, I can see that happening.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's quite hard to think what characters, because this was meant to be a live action film initially. Well, it was meant to be a 2D, like like the Iron Giant, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Brad Bird directed the Iron Giant.
Yeah, he did, and that's why they liked it so much. And because he came up with the idea so early, he wanted it to be that kind of like, I can't remember what they called it. It's like I can't remember what animation style they call it. But then Disney said it would be, when they wanted to do computer generated, it'd be too hard to do all the things like fabrics and hair and all these different like things. Like when Mr. Incredible puts his hand through like the suit and then feels like whether it's been cut through.
Yeah,
that took 2 months to animate, and then they used that model
Really?
again and again for everything else. But it was just too expensive to do that. So Disney said, "Right, we'll do a live action version." But then I think Brad Bird just said no, and luckily they kept with it.
Yeah.
Even
That's
this
funny,
with the car, like that dent with his hand. Now the door doesn't close, and
the window cracking and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's all realistic and believable. Like he's like, you can tell he's like a big character who's strong. While
Yeah.
the things still have weight, and that's probably really quite hard to do.
Like this kind of bit as well, like because you've got like the kids on the bike in the front, then Mr. Incredible in the car light in the middle, and the house in the back. It's kind of giving that depth as well. It's
And that kid was
Probably
played
way
by
harder.
Brad Bird's son as well.
That's quite funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Was it-
Was he a baby then? Was he really young?
Yeah, it was really young.
That's quite funny.
I think I was looking because all these characters, they seem very similar to like the Fantastic Four, don't they?
Well, like powers wise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so one of them is really strong, one of them's got force fields and goes invisible, the other one's really stretchy. Obviously, Dash is a bit of the odd one out, but
yeah.
it turns out it was a complete accident that they did that.
Well, funny.
Because he just Brad Bird just didn't read comics, so he didn't know. Um,
You would have thought he would have. He would have watched, read
Yeah.
DC or had got inspiration from DC or Marvel or something.
Yeah, he didn't. But he said the man was supposed to be like the father was supposed to be like the strong figure, so he gave him like the strength, and then the mother was like pulled in every direction by like everyone else, like the family trying to do this, trying to do that, and like so stretched. So they gave her like elastic. Like you can see like even in this scene later on where they all start fighting around the table and she has to like pull everyone apart. Like,
Yeah.
that's why she's like really stretchy. And then Violet's just like she's not comfortable in her own skin, so she just tries to be invisible all the time, always like throwing up like boundaries and stuff. I can't remember what they said for Dash, but I assume he's just like really hyper.
It's like ADHD kids.
And the baby's still figuring out who he is.
That makes sense, to be fair. That does make sense. Look at this sneeze. Fuck.
Bless
Oh,
you.
God. Hey, no force field. Yeah, her arms is going over her. This is where Frozen's about to knock on the door, isn't it? And then just quickly pay everything back.
Nice to see you. Never heard that one before.
Oh. The other thing about the Fantastic Four, think about it. Frozen's like the opposite of the Human Torch as well.
Yeah, I suppose he is. And I like these scenes. Like it's not like the end of the world. Everyone's fighting to save. Like it's just like family struggles.
Yeah.
And they're all pretending to be a happy family as well. As soon as Frozen turns up.
Yeah, I think Samuel L. Jackson is the perfect person to play Frozone.
Yeah, they cast him because they said they wanted to be just the coolest guy ever, and I think he literally is the coolest guy ever. Look at him.
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, it's literally fantastic.
Because you could have easily not had. If this film was made earlier on within Pixar's kind of like reign, before that Monsters Inc. Toy Story and whatnot, he probably wouldn't have done it. But like by this point, Pixar definitely had built like a name for himself. Obviously now, like every single film they do, it just has like insane casts, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, yeah,
the casting for this all round is literally on point.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I don't know, like they're all in hiding, but there's still something brewing. Like old supers going missing, like with the newspaper and something. No, it's not like something's happening, but it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just gets reminiscent of the old days, and you just want to do something more.
Yeah, especially Bob.
And I think as well for like a film, it goes for most things. I think something's always more attractive when it's just the remains of something that used to be greater. So obviously there's only a few superheroes left and they're all in hiding and they're all reminiscent of the glory days when there was, rather than trying to capture it at its height, you know, which would be like harder to do. I think it's just more effective just to show a few people and like hint at what was before. I think loads of things like Lord of the Rings do that as well. And they say like how there used to be loads of like the Dunedain and or like loads of this. Now there's hardly any left. And it's just so much more kind of romantic that there's only a few of these people left.
Yeah.
And just makes it more special and makes you focus on these characters as a person rather than like the whole kind of making them untouchable. They become very touchable and very real and very kind of like
it's
flawed,
like intimate with their life as well.
Yeah.
But then later on finding out where they all went. I like that scene.
Yeah, oh definitely. That reveal is crazy.
Yeah. Like obviously we've seen this film so many times, you know exactly what's going on, but like the mystery behind it as well, like that woman following him.
Yeah.
He's had no idea. I feel like I kind of wish this film came out like, I don't know. On one hand, like I watched this film as a kid. It came out when we were like 5, so
Yeah.
I like it's so nostalgic for me, and I love it because of that. But at the same time, if it came out now, I'd be able to like. I think I'd be able to like think about it a lot more.
Yeah, you
It'd
definitely
be more.
like as you watch it over the years, you kind of like unpick certain bits. Oh, this means that kind of thing. Like when I
Yeah.
first watched it, I didn't kind of clock on that Helen thought that her husband was cheating on her. But then I don't
Yeah.
know when, maybe when I was like maybe 5, 10 years later, not 10 years, maybe 5 years later when I was like 10 or 11, then you kind of get like the more nuanced family topics come into it a bit more and what you want to notice. And maybe you do understand it then, but you just don't really like
Yeah.
consciously understand it. And that's where it's nice because like your kids, because it's superheroes, so that's why you like it. But then it's like just them arguing around the dinner table I find more interesting now than the big fight scenes.
Yeah. I'm thirsty. I'm just getting a drink.
This is a throwback to Die Hard as well, I think.
Yeah. Your drink now. I know.
I know.
Freeze. I love that.
Yeah, and then all these policemen are ordinary men. And you can kind of tell because that dude over there looks a bit like Tony, doesn't he? Tony Reinger. You know, the kid with Violet. You know, that's the one that you kind of like. I think he's like the one that you can relate to all the others.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And all them policemen, yeah, you see like 5 of them in the same room just then, like, up close, and they all look very similar.
Yeah, like they're different enough, but it's like not so different that it's distracting.
Yeah, they've done quite a good job of that because, yes, I think they thought it would have cost so much to make because of that kind of thing. Like, imagine if all of them had different faces. It's insane. Like, it takes so long. Probably taking like years longer just for that.
Because they were saying that it to like edit these characters and create them, like everything has to be created, lighted, shaded, animated, and it's not like just like, oh, you just get a computer to do it, because it's all hand done.
Yeah, especially just like
on the computer
17 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, when the like these base models that you use for fabric just aren't there yet.
Yeah,
these are the first people to do it. They had to cut lots of scenes as well because like they wanted to have like underwater scenes, but then that would have to do like underwater like hair mechanics, so they just scrap certain things.
It's probably why, because they do that kind of stuff in the new film though.
Yeah, they do.
Which he didn't want to make he wanted to make a sequel, but it took so long because he didn't want to do it unless he had an idea which was just as good or was better than the original.
That's good because they were talking about rushing it a couple of years after with a different crew. I'm glad they did.
No, exactly, and it makes sense as well. I think you can tell that Brad Bird or whatever, he's not about the money, he just wants to make a good film. And that's when you got like the kind of people you got to appreciate. Like, I think Toy Story, they done well to make it all 4 films good. And maybe like the second one's the weakest because that's the one that got rushed into a sequel.
Yeah, you can see that clearly.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad, but it's definitely, I'd say personally, I think it's the worst.
I like here how like they kind of like slowly add in the powers to everyday life and conversation. Like there where she's shouting at him and she stretches taller and taller and taller to like near over him, and then these two are just hiding behind the sofa invisible and him really fast. It's just nice how the powers are like natural and it's not like something you turn on and off for like everyday life.
They have to like live with it. And
it's just kind of like there, and it's just part of them, which is very natural.
But you can see how it like hinders Dash and Violet in there, like when they're trying to be normal school kids and have to hide it.
Definitely.
And they do quite good, like, because obviously at the end, well, Dash wants to be like a runner and he can't do it. He's not allowed to do it for the whole film. And then at the end, they let him do it, and they have to like help him.
That end seems like so funny. It's like, go, not too much, not too much, a little bit more. No, look like you're trying though. The parents next to them just staring like, what the fuck are you saying to your kids?
I like that. Is this a bit where he throws his boss through them?
Yeah, I think so. Let's hope we don't cover him. You know, that bit.
Yeah. Oh, his boss is such a dick. Sit down, Bob. I like the pencil. Bob just sat down and shook the room. I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Yeah, even the animation in this scene, you can get the whole idea that the whole place is like just kind of cardboard walls, cardboard floor, and it's just too big for it, and it's just really
Yeah.
subtle and it works.
Yeah. But I like how the boss is tiny, and then because Bob's huge.
Yeah, look at his like shoulders just over the back of the chair. Like his arse to shoulder ratio is crazy there. His like waist is as thick as his neck.
How tall do you reckon Bob is?
I reckon 6'2".
I reckon it's taller than that.
Nah.
How tall is Mr. Incredible? It's gonna be like 6 foot, like 10 foot, like Peppa Pig, isn't it?
Nah.
How tall is Mr. Incredible? Okay, great. My Wi-Fi's. Come on. How tall is Mr. Incredible? 6'4".
6'4". Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's like not so big that it's like
That-
a freak, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like the tallest of someone who's normal height, if that makes sense. Obviously,
he's-
very tall, but
Yeah.
I think the ones are under the bed.
What ones?
The Bluetooth ones.
I don't work.
Don't have any other. Let's hope we don't cover him. Oh, that smirk.
Hmm.
I think there's so many shots in this as well. Like
Hmm.
you can see this bit. The shots are changing like every 2-3 seconds.
The amount of scenes and like sets in this as well are crazy, because I think they did Finding Nemo before this, in 2003, and that had had like 20 sets apparently, and this one had 130. So the jump up was just like phenomenal.
Yeah, that's why it took him so much longer and had such a massive crew for it to make it like as well. Is he meant to look like Tommy Lee Jones?
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Oh dear.
Is it? Is that Tommy Lee Jones doing the voice?
I don't think so. No. No, it isn't.
Oh, it's not. No.
I also like the idea how like there's still like a government agency kind of regulating supers, kind of under the making sure they're okay and making sure they're staying out of business and staying out of like trouble and covering things up. But like funding's always on the downturn, and I think it just makes it that much more realistic when things are just like getting a little bit shitter.
Yeah.
You always hear about budget cuts and last straws.
Yeah. The thing is, it'd be realistic as well. That's probably what would actually happen, which I think is like what's so good about the whole film. There probably would be an actual like someone looking after all the undercover supers, like a secret government agency. You know what I mean? I don't know, something amazing, I guess. I'll still say that now. Me too, kid.
Me too.
Yeah, I like his office.
This
all
is
this
really
Mr. Incredible memorabilia.
All like the nostalgia and the reminiscent of the glory.
Literally just like trying to live among his memories still.
Well, that animation wasn't so strong.
No.
Where he ripped the book in half.
No, because all the pages would be flying everywhere. It just kind of stayed as a block when he ripped it.
Yeah, it was kind of like a cardboard box with like dust in it.
I think they just put it in anyway, just because obviously ripping a phone book or whatever is meant to be like one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
And he just does it so easily.
And then this is, when he gets this like encoded message, this is when things start to like set a new chapter of the film. Things are being a little less depressed and more going in a certain direction.
Mm.
Because he's kind of stuck in the rut, isn't he? Mr. Incredible was actually based on Brad Bird himself, I think. Because
Really?
he wanted, and he kind of based on his own life struggles as well. Because I think he wanted to be definitely like have like a prominent career in film, but he had to give up certain parts of it for his family. So he kind of based when he wrote the script, he kind of based it on himself.
That's usually the better films anyway, to be fair. The films that are written off like personal experience. It means you can make it more in depth and
Yeah,
like relatable for the audience as well.
you can add more motive to each of the characters. And I think
Yeah,
definitely,
definitely.
like all the characters in this film, all the motives are very clear cut, and you can understand like, you know, there's no one that's just like gliding through, and if they are, like they are doing it for a reason. Like the dude from the agency who looks after all the superheroes, he's like pretty can't be bothered with anything, and he's just there. But it's not like he's just there because he's like doing old favors for the friends that he used to work with, and just trying to get along and not lose his like funding. Like each of the characters have like strong, understandable motives,
Yeah.
and you can definitely
Yeah.
see that with Mr. Incredible now as he's thinking about what could be if he could bring back the supers again.
Yeah, he's just got his mission now. He's like, wow, I can.
Yeah,
There's literally like pictures that say glory days and stuff.
because he knows he's meant for more than working in like an insurance company.
Yeah.
He's not really helping anyone, and when he does try and when he tries to help the old lady, he gets scolded for it, and you know,
Yeah.
he just lost his job now anyway, so he's like, might
I
as
need
well.
something. You can play something that's put quite. Is it not? Oh. Oh, he has like a revelation. He can lie about his job.
Kind of the first part of dishonesty between them.
Yeah, and look at his face.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's doing it wrong.
But I feel like he thinks he's doing it for a good reason. Because if it goes well, like he needs to be able to provide for his family, and he feels like
Yeah.
he needs this job, and she's going to say no. And ultimately, she is right if she said no, because things have the guy it turns out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Try and kill him.
I like how you can see he's like when he sits down, he is a lot bigger, like fatter.
Yeah. It's just this big belly in the suit, especially.
Yeah. That's what I look like after lockdown.
I like how you just think he's there to just like fight this robot, and then you realize the robot's being upgraded each time against a different super, and it will keep killing supers till the robot gets beaten, and they'll make a better robot, and then it's like a process. But you can see how every super buys into it.
Yeah, because they all want this glory days back. They all want what Bob wants.
Here you go, his lockdown mode. Just can't fit into the tube.
I like his face that's trying to get him in. The way his belly's wobbling and hitting the edge of the tube.
It just looks really angry.
Yeah. Do you think Mirage is fit?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Well, I think she is.
She's got a fit voice. But then I feel like that's one of them voice actors that just isn't fit, and it's just a catfish.
Yeah, probably would be, to be fair. It'd probably be interesting to see what she actually looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look now.
There he is trying to get the box again. The way he's got his waistband on and his kind of belly fat that sits
His belly
above
just
the waistband.
completely like there's the belly.
There it is.
Time. My mouth hurts from talking so much. We talked quite a lot so far.
Yeah, we have actually. How far into the film are we?
Not 30.
37 minutes.
37 minutes at 1:55. Let's have a
No,
little
I'm
rest.
not... Oh yeah. Okay.
Wait, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I'm not surprised. This won Best Animated Picture that year. It went up against Shark Tale and Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 is a fucking banger, actually.
It is.
Not
I
gonna
think it's better
lie.
than the first one.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
sick.
I like how I love this era of like films was so strong for having good DVD extras. Because
Yeah.
like I used to love like all the DVDs that came around between literally like 2004 and 2008 had like just
Yeah.
such like strong mini games and like stuff geared at kids, and I used to just love playing around on those things.
Yeah. I remember I had the DVD of all the extras for this as well.
Yeah, for this they had like Jack Attack and all the
Yeah.
deleted scenes.
Boundin as well.
Bounding, yeah, they were talking about how important that was for like animation before it. Yeah, and I remember
Yeah.
watching it at the time, like not understanding the significance of it, but then understanding like short films in Disney are a way to like demonstrate animation capabilities without like producing an entire film.
Yeah. I suppose it's a chance to give like directors a chance to do that work,
Yeah,
because of like animated. I think people who want to make animated films is it's a speciality of directing, I think, and obviously it's quite hard to make a name for yourself in it.
when you
So
have no portfolio, yeah.
Yeah, so giving people the chance to make short films that are kind of
Yeah, him putting his back out in this bit is just brilliant.
yeah,
It's like one of the first concepts they had about a superhero who's aging.
yeah,
And then when he's just putting like tractions in between the two claws and just pops.
pops his back into
Yeah.
place.
Ah.
I like that. I don't know why I didn't just throw him in this bit. I like when he does get up inside the robot, how like smug he looks.
Yeah.
And so yeah, because it beat Sharktown, Shrek 2. There was only 3 films that were nominated for it that year.
I
And it
love
won, which I'm surprised.
Didn't Shrek 2 had Simon Cowell in it? I'm pretty sure.
Did it?
was like he was one of the judges for the talent contest, even if it was in like
Oh
the DVD
yeah,
extras.
it was like a 2-second. Yeah,
it was like, I don't like it, I love it.
Yeah.
Or he's telling like the three mice that they haven't quite got it or something. I can't remember.
I wish DVD extras were like still a thing now. Like they were back then.
So no one buys DVDs. Yeah, speaking of DVD extras and DVDs, this was like one of the most sold DVDs like in the world.
Yeah,
because of like just how popular it was, and especially among kids, I guess. So
it goes along with the trailer for the second film is the most watched animated film trailer ever.
To be fair,
and the 7th highest just film trailer ever watched.
And it's just the wide array of like audiences these kind of films appeal to, because like even the second one's a kids film, but it appeals to all like the 21 to 24-year-olds who were like 5 at the time, and then also all the kids at the time, and all the parents of the kids at the time, and the kids now.
Yeah, this is actually the first PG Pixar film.
Ooh, pushing the boat out.
All of them are you before this, obviously because of fighting and stuff. They had to make it PG, but
I was gonna say what pushes it.
It's like because obviously when he goes to like the secret base back there, like kill some of the people or whatever, or like knock them out and stuff.
Quite dark concepts of like all the superheroes just being murdered one by one.
Yeah, like I expect that at the start, that guy tries to like kill himself before Mr. Incredible saves him.
Yeah, suicide as well. I think remembering as a kid, like, I didn't really understand why he jumped off the top of a building and then got angry at Mr. Incredible for hurting his back or his neck.
Yeah, I didn't really get like what was going on.
You broke my neck. I didn't break your neck. I saved your life.
I like that.
Yeah, good montage is always good.
Yeah, the music in the background. I'll scare that tracks. Yeah, it also won Best Sound Editing Oscar, and was nominated for Best Sound Mixing.
Yeah, you can see why. I think it does basically everything perfectly. I don't think there's really a single area that this film falls short in at all.
Yeah. It's very strong in every kind of aspect.
Yeah, I genuinely think it might be one of the strongest films ever made, because nothing really else comes close to the category that it's trying to fulfill.
Yeah. Let's say like... No, go on.
I just say like it's just so well balanced for all of the different like kind of areas it tackles. You know, like a superhero film, a kids film, a family film, and then added to all of the animation problem, well, not problems, but like uh, innovations that it has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he gets jacked. Jesus. Yeah.
He just cut like 14 inches off his waist, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive. McDonald's. McDonald's. Oh, here we go. Edna mode. What? Who is it? Let's go. What do you want?
My God, you've gotten fat.
Oh god, I forgot how good she is.
She's voiced by the director Brad Bird.
Is she?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So they were looking for an actress that could do the voice. So he did like a little tape of what he wanted it to sound like, and they sent it to something Tomlin. I can't remember her name.
Oh,
and then
Lily Tomlin.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
just said, "Well, that you've got the voice. Why are you asking me for?" So he did the voice.
It makes sense, to be fair. I didn't even realize it was like a man's voice.
Yeah. And I think it was so popular. It was either that year or the next year. They made an animation of her to introduce the Oscars for fashion design.
That's quite good.
Or
idea.
give the nominees at least.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before actually.
I think she's based off Edith Head and Q from James Bond as a character.
I don't.
So Edith Head's like a really famous fashion designer,
Right.
like really like eccentric and particular. And then Q obviously designs all the gadgets for James Bond. So it's like the middle ground between those two. Well, that person.
Yeah, it makes sense actually.
Because she has to like be fashionable, but she also has to like be fit for purpose and has to be like bulletproof and machine washable and all this rubbish.
Yeah, because it's funny because she's obviously just like a meme now,
Yeah,
but you forget how funny she genuinely is when you watch it.
and they really like the second one. I feel like it literally does as best as it can as a film to like live up to this film, and they really do manage to like actually step her character up in the second one, like her like affiliation with Jack and just everything that works excellently.
November 15th of 58. I love this bit. No capes. No capes.
It's quite comical considering they're talking about people getting killed.
Yeah.
Like a woman going into a jet engine's not funny.
Yeah. Literally, that's why it's PG instead of years. It's probably even PG, like literally people dying. Like
and these are
no
all
capes.
These are all the heroes that are seen at the wedding that have all been killed.
Yeah. Well, I wonder when the wedding was, because that was like 1958, when the wedding was meant to be. When did Bob and Helen get married? No, I spelled married wrong. 1957, they got married apparently.
Yeah.
So that like
they're probably about the 60s they got outlawed.
Yeah. But it's funny, it was like saying about like how good it is. Because obviously like the good superhero films these days are like the Marvel ones pretty much, and that Infinity War and that. But that's built off like a whole universe. Like obviously Iron Man's the original of that and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which are probably like, and this is just built like a whole universe out of one film.
Yeah, less than 2 hours. They've made something that's like absolutely timeless, and it's literally bulletproof as a film. It just can't be attacked on any front. And I just wish there was more of it. But then also I'm glad there's not more of it to ruin it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think the second one and like a few shorts to go with it is perfect. Because you don't want to ruin it realistically. And you can, that's what I mean, like Brad Bird, obviously, he wants to make it's quality over quantity and money for him. So
Mm.
Like, he could easily just could have made like a trilogy of Incredibles in like a 10-year period, and it would have made billions. But he'd rather just make good films.
Yeah, he cares about the story, and he's not going to write it if there's not the story there.
Yeah.
Syndrome is a really interesting character because I didn't realize he was played by Jason Lee. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
dude.
My Name Is Earl. Is it?
Yeah, and he's from
Yeah.
like Alvin and the Chipmunks and things, and like, and he just does such a good job at playing this character.
Yeah, he actually does.
Because like I think so many villains aren't relatable, or they just want to be bad because they're bad, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like this Syndrome, he just has a real chip on his shoulder about Mr. Incredible, and just the unfairness of he could have helped people, but he was just held back because like he wasn't super. He almost feels like
powers. Yeah.
almost discriminated against, kind of, and he just, I don't know. It's just such a strong idea for a villain, and it works so well. Like
Yeah.
you can't really fault it. I think so many films fail at that concept straight away. They get too swept up with the heroes that they forget to focus on the villains. And the idea that Mr. Incredible's almost created his own demon straight away. It's almost like, like Iron Man 3, where he like pisses off Guy Pearce.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name.
The Mandarin, not the Mandarin, but
yeah,
the guy's meant the actual Mandarin, not
yeah, the guy's puppeteering Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
My name's Trevor Slattery.
Trevor Slattery. I think that's cool. It's one of the weaker Marvel films, but it's quite funny.
Yeah, no, yeah, I really wrote Ben Kingsley in that, and him himself being an Oscar winner. It must be a fun role to play.
Yeah, that's what we say. Like, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Edna, Easy's Edna.
Because obviously here she finds like the hair on Bob's suit. I think like the silver hair. There's a scene cut out here from when she thinks Bob might be cheating on her, and asks him why there's a hair on the suit and why he took the suit out, and he said to be cleaned. And there's like, is there something you want to ask me? And she's like, are you having an affair? And then like it's kind of like it gets very, very deep, and they cut it in the end. But I don't think it would have taken anything from the film. I think it would have added a little bit to it.
Yeah,
but I think the whole film works well with just like the suggestion and how she doesn't want to ask. I think if anything, that's more powerful.
Yeah, it makes more sense because I think if like in that real scenario, if you wouldn't have like one hint and then ask, you would kind of because she goes around and does her own snoop. It doesn't make sense to her to ask then go around and do snooping. It makes sense that she kind of snoops.
Yeah,
because of it.
Yeah, definitely. And this conference room is A113, which is like a Pixar reference in all the films. Because A113 is like one of the classrooms at a certain college or something where all the animators studied.
That's quite cool.
I think later on as well, he's held in cell. He's held in like floor A1 and then cell 13 as well.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, there's some. I saw that there's some. It does pop up a few times. Although this film, there is a Pixar. There's like a truck or a van or something, like an ice cream van or something. That's in all the other films. It isn't in this one though.
Is it from Toy Story, the rocket, the pizza?
I think
Planet,
so. Yeah,
the Pizza Planet car. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of the only films that's not in.
Yeah, I think he forgot to put it in. Someone forgot to ask, and they just didn't put it in, which is a shame.
Oh, that's annoying. Because there's scenes where they're on the roads and stuff. They could just like stuck it in there. Oh yeah, this is him saying that he's incredible. It's really cool though because it is put in a way where I think that's what Pixar just like can do that no one else can do in general. Just like make a film in a way where no matter what age you are, you can watch it. Like this is just fun to watch a superhero film as a kid, but as I was like 21 now watching it, it's actually a genuinely good like concept and idea and quite in depth that you can watch it as well and pick it apart. And I think Pixar are just the masters of doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. They spend so much time and effort into each of their stories, and they don't force anything.
Yeah.
Did we just miss the sly dog you caught me monologuing?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. That was rated like one of like
Slider.
top 15 movie quotes ever, I think.
No, you sly dog.
Yeah, you caught me monologuing, which is perfect. I think that's the writing in this is actually really good as well.
Size big boy.
I think so many films have all the other parts, but then the dialogue isn't there. And like take like Star Wars or something, for example. But this, even the dialogue's there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Such a strong script actually.
I think Syndrome and Mr. Incredible are actually based off Batman and Robin. Like the idea if Robin approached Batman and Batman said, "No, I don't want a sidekick," you know, and then what that would have pushed Robin to do. And that's kind of like a nice idea.
It does make sense.
I remember this scared me as a kid. The idea of Gazer being a skeleton.
Yeah, it's even now it's quite
Eerie.
menacing. Yeah, eerie. Pretty shit scanning that. Darling. Good. I think what they did in the second film as well, because obviously Edna's such a good character, they didn't throw her in too much again. Like they could have easily just put loads of Edna because people love her, but they put kind of pretty much the same amount of Edna as before, just because people love that kind of.
Yeah. She's not a pivotal character. Well, in small amounts maybe, so they only put in as much as they need.
I guess. Yeah. Edna, Maud, and guest. I like this bit with all the suits. Watching all of them. How does Edna know all their powers? Mr. Incredible might have told her.
Maybe she just figures it out. Like she's does her research, maybe. Maybe spoke to Robert.
Yeah, I told them. Machine washable. If you could have one of their powers, who would you? If you like for yourself, if you actually had to pick, whose power would you take?
I don't know.
The most convenient, I think, would be Elastigirl's. Like sitting there, you can reach over for anything. Then Violet's would be pretty cool. But then the thing is with Violet's, if you didn't have a suit, your clothes wasn't cover the invisibility.
You have to take all your clothes off every time.
Yeah. And like in everyday life, you don't really need force fields.
Mr. Incredible would just be cool. So I just feel like, But then Dash as well. Be able to be super quick.
He can run on water. He's so quick he can run on water.
Throw zones is a bit impractical.
Yeah. Also, when there was a fire, if any has no oxygen, it didn't work.
But even for daily life, you can't get to work like that because you just leave a bloody mess.
So yeah, probably either Elastigirl or Mr. Incredible. Or Dash.
I go Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, I reckon Mr. Incredible. Although it would be harder to do everyday things. It's like you just like when he's just cutting his steak and just breaks the plate and stuff.
Yeah.
It would hinder you in a way. So I think the most practical one would be Elastigirl's.
If there was one that teleport, I'd take that.
Yeah, I reckon so. I wonder what all of like the other superheroes' powers are. Like obviously, like laser beams out of his eyes and what.
I watched a bit of the extras that kind of explained all of the superheroes, had like a little dialogue of like them talking about themselves and then all of their powers and stuff.
Mm.
Quite interesting. And like all like the little splashs they had between each other. It's like a 20-minute thing.
Yeah, imagine if they made a series of like all of the superheroes.
It'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
It'd be cool if you got to see like all of the superheroes fight all of the different robot things.
Yeah, that would be quite cool.
That progression.
They definitely could make a series out of that. All of them going over to fight a thing. I don't know how good it would be.
You kind of know what's going to happen, I guess.
Yeah, but I suppose you could say that of any prequel.
But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of like all the new superheroes in the Incredibles 2, though.
No, I know what you mean.
I didn't really.
Some of them were okay. There was that the one that was like a fan of Elastigirl.
Yeah.
She was like the only one that was in depth. All the others were just kind of there with powers.
Yeah, and they all looked a bit weird. Like one was like shaped like an owl, and
yeah,
like one.
Well, the Crusher guy.
Yeah.
You want to uncrush it?
I think I just prefer like the more classical superheroes era. You know, like the Golden Age. Like all of the superheroes in this, and the ones that are hinted at like classic superheroes, like not like particularly based off anything, but they're all like very just cool and like I don't know if you're saying classic, but they were. But then the new one seemed a bit more like mishmashy and not like having proper powers, just like weird powers. Like you could throw up vomit acid and it's just like weird.
Like these ones are just like super strength, super speed, invisibility, like the things you do think about.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think they might have gone a little over the top for the new one, but
and they all could look like they could like hide in real life, like just put a suit on or like, where they couldn't really do that with the new ones.
No. Oh God. Stuck in lava. Oh, this is the bit where he finds out what happened to all the other supers. Because I like how it hints at it first with Gazer Beam.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got an idea something's going on, but he doesn't realise the extent at which. So I don't know how many superheroes they show here that have been killed, but it's loads. Must be like nearly half of them. It's all very tense as well because this is going on as well.
Yeah, they've done well, like kind of cutting between the scenes of her trying to find him and him doing looking at all the other heroes.
Yeah, it feels well balanced, and they haven't tried to like balance it too much with having like Dash or Violet having other storylines, but they still feel like they have their own struggles.
Yeah. Hypershock. Apogee. Blitzerman, Tradewind, Vectress. Gazer Beam, there he is. Gamma Jack.
There's just so many superheroes.
There's probably a list somewhere. That just tells you like all of them.
They used to have top trumps for the Incredibles, and they had all the other superheroes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, location of Frozone known. It's incredible. Terminated. I love the soundtrack for this as well.
Oh yeah, they went through like 3 composers to get the soundtrack. I think it works really well.
I've seen a video before of like the big orchestra just all like working on the film. I don't know if that's. I think that might be for the second film, but it's still really impressive. The dun 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 dun, like it's all multiple, just it's like a huge orchestra making that. It's amazing.
Yeah, they
All
had
by Brad Bird as well.
the first composer had to leave just because he only
Yeah.
after like doing a few like demo tracks. Then the second composer actually died during the making of it,
I
and then
did.
the last composer decided to stick, and it worked out okay.
Yeah, it is a really cool soundtrack. I like the theme. The dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and then like I like how they like edit it and make it more sinister. Or, you know.
Yeah. That's why I suppose that's why it's done for best sound editing as well. I think that you won the Oscar for that. Kind of cutting between the scenes of making some bits more kind of sinister and then amongst the explosions and whatnot as well. It is really impressive the way they've done it all.
Yeah.
I like how she's so small she can walk on her like kitchen island.
Her countertop, and she's still nearly the same height.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Isn't it funny they called him Dash and then he just turned out to be Super Speed.
Mm. Yeah, that is actually strange. How'd they explain that in the writing?
Because when they're all born, they're like Jack, but they don't. They just have loads of powers until they like figure one out.
Mm. The animation on a jumper there is a bit weird.
Yeah, but
It's not. It's only when you're looking for it, I guess, because then the hair is actually really good.
yeah, I suppose they tried extra hard on their hair because they wanted it to be. It's like part of her, pretty much.
There's meant to be, what's his name, Snug. So like the pilot was meant to be with her, and he was the one meant to fly the plane.
Yeah.
And then when the plane went down, he was meant to go down in the wreckage. And you know when she's like in the water, looking down, watching the plane sink.
Yeah.
And you know she's staring at it for ages because
Yeah.
it's meant to symbolize that his corpse is still in the plane, and his hat like comes floating up. But then they had to cut that whole scene out just because like it was just another person to animate and like another thing to go wrong, and they could just have Helen fly the plane.
Yeah, it does make sense. Also, it's pretty for like a PG.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
dark.
Pixar film.
Watching
Yeah.
kind of like even if you didn't die in the plane crash, like you just watch him just drown, trapped in the plane.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's always meant to die, you know, because then he's not going to be able to come back from the island even if they save him because he's like just normal.
Yeah.
Also, Jason Lee, when he Syndrome, when he recorded his parts, he did it in 4 days for the entire film.
Really?
Yeah,
that's quite impressive, actually.
Mr. Incredible took 2 years to record all his parts.
Oh my god!
So
it's quite a difference. I wonder how long Samuel L. Jackson took.
Because
he's not actually in it that much.
Samuel Jackson.
Like Frozone.
No, he's not.
He's in it a bit at the start, and then like pretty much all of the ends. But throughout this whole like middle bit, he's not even there. Because we're like over an hour into the film, and he's been in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Picture that's it's like Pixar, then making mums with a dump truck ass.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they just make everyone's bums absolutely huge.
Every single mum in it just has a massive ass.
And like even in this film, they know as well. She checks out her own ass in this film.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So them addressing it. I suppose this would have been the first one though, because what mum would have been like? Andy's mum would have been the only one before this. Did you even see it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, maybe this was the birth of the Pixar bum.
The
Pixar mum bum.
Big ass. Yeah.
Dump truck.
Dump truck ass. I like that saying.
And then the Jack movie was also something that was cut out, and then they didn't redo until 2005. Just like that kind of like 3-4 minute scene of her being interrogated, and then finding out that the baby's absolutely crazy, got mad powers, and then Syndrome turns up. Then they wipe her memory. That's all a very nice scene as well.
Jack Attack.
Yeah, Jack Attack on the DVD extras.
Yeah.
I think
it's really cool.
They're trying to release a similar one called Jack and the Raccoon or something for Incredibles 2.
Oh, that does make sense. That's like in the film though.
Yeah, I don't know, like maybe they released it as part of a trailer.
Yeah.
Why are they not buckled in?
What are they doing? It's never gonna go well. Oh, she's 12-1 bullet. Missile.
Ooh.
"15 years too late." Well, in this moment, you'd be like, you said we're not supposed to use our powers. Like, obviously the plane's about to blow up. Just do a force field.
Just use your powers. That's one of those annoying bits. That she's annoying. So obviously save our lives, but don't use it at school. That kind of thing.
Oh god, what a dumbass.
Yeah, this is when the whole film takes like a bit of a turn. Like you've seen people, or you've heard of people getting killed, but this is the first time you're actually going to see imminent danger. And it's like there are children aboard this plane. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it shows how like Syndrome doesn't give a fuck either as well.
Jeez Louise.
Did she do the force field?
Nah, she didn't.
This will survive the massive plane explosion.
I think she wrapped herself around it, and then her suit's like indestructible.
Oh, yeah.
But then it kind of knocks her out. So I don't know.
Brace yourselves.
that shot there with her massive shoulders, that's how I felt in year 7 like photos with my blazer on.
Picture is so funny. You massive blazer.
Just my shoulders just going on and on and on, and my tiny little pea head.
Weren't you on the wall at school for ages as well?
Yeah, for some stupid, probably in tech or something.
Yeah, I think in the tech blog. For some reason, like years after, it just stayed there. We're dead. We're dead. I like the creativity of how they got back to the island. Where she makes herself like how the creative way they got them back to the island. Where she makes herself into a boat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Quite a good idea. How he thinks his family's dead at this point.
I could break her like a toothpick. Was it? It will be easy. It'll be easy like crushing a toothpick.
Yeah, like breaking a toothpick.
Oh mate, I'm ruining these quotes today.
I think it's too good. He can't do it. That Syndrome they were doing instantly. It's quite funny, this kind of thing. Like their secret identities is just putting a small black mask on his face.
Yeah. It's a bit more than Clark Kent, but there we go.
Yeah, I suppose. Taking off your glasses. If I take off my glasses right now, would you recognise me?
Take one. Ross, where are you? Oh, my throat is killing me. I have a pseudo.
Is there any other superheroes that are like that?
What, just like retarded? Like Wonder Woman doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but she's not really from anywhere. She's not. She's from the island of like Superwomen. So
Yeah,
she
but
wouldn't
no,
get
but like
recognised
she
anyway.
walks around as like Diana, whatever, Diana Prince.
Oh yeah.
But then again, she doesn't really get caught out in the open. She always like destroys the security cameras or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really reveal herself until like.
No, it's her both DC.
Oh, I watched this is off topic, so we can probably cut this out. But I watched Wonder Woman 1984 last night.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me, how are they allowed to make films that bad? I don't
Is
understand.
it actually that bad? I haven't
It's
seen
fuck-
it. The first one's
fucking-
not too bad.
It's fucking terrible.
Have
Like,
you seen the first one?
yeah, I like the first one. First one's alright.
Yeah.
Just slithering out of the water.
Oh no, I probably won't watch it. I haven't even seen the original Justice League. I just heard it was so bad that I never watched it.
I watched it. It was terrible. At
I'm
the end-
tempted to watch the 4 hour, the new one.
I think what you should actually do. It's a bit dead, but I think you should watch the shit one. Then you should watch the good one.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I can compare them, see how much better it actually is.
Leave it like a week or something. Because obviously I left it like 3
3
years. Yeah, like
Yeah.
3 years between them. But yeah, I enjoy watching superhero films. There's more like just more to watch, you know. There's more
Yeah.
like just more like fight scenes. Even if the fight scenes are bad, it's better than just like watching something I've already seen. But that's saying that watching Wonder Woman last night was fucking awful.
Have you watched WandaVision yet?
Yeah, I love WandaVision. That was
Yeah.
excellent.
Have you watched Bucky and the
No,
Falcon thing? What's it
I'm
called?
saving that. I'm gonna watch it on my course, mate.
I'll watch it soon because it got released. Is it the first 2 episodes or just the first episode got released?
First episode came out on Friday.
Yeah, I'll watch it at some point.
49 minutes, which is pretty good.
I think I'm not as excited for that as I was about WandaVision. Firstly, because WandaVision was like the first one, and secondly, it's like a really original like idea concept, but this one seems more generic.
I feel like this one might actually be better than WandaVision.
It could be though, yeah.
I think WandaVision was slightly overhyped.
It peaked in the middle as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like certain parts of it, I liked. You know, when she turned around to speak to Vision, and he was just dead, and there was that hole in the front of his forehead.
Oh yeah.
Just all pale, and he was still talking to her like everything was fine. And then she looked away, and then looked back again, and he was normal again. I really liked that bit. That bit was excellent.
I think like episode 4 or 5 or something as well, where you first see like the base outside of it, and it reveals this like whole world outside the bubble for the first time. You're like, oh my days,
Yeah.
sick.
But I feel like too many things are becoming like Disney-fied, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
They're just too like. I know this is a really stupid thing to say because they all are kids' films, essentially. But I feel like they're becoming too kiddie and too like an episode of Zack and Cody, you know? Like
yeah, they're trying
everyone's
to.
just kind of like be fun and quirky and then almost like half look to the camera for laughs. And if you look at where like Marvel came from, like Iron Man, like
it's
one
quite
of the
gritty.
opening scenes is a missile blows up and like rips a hole in his chest and he's almost bleeding to death. And he's like a playboy and like a weapons dealer, and it's like there's like gritty real life kind of like things with superheroes mixed in. Now it's like they're kind of making fun that there are superheroes in their own kind of reality and how it's like, oh, it's like we're in a film kind of thing. It just feels
Yeah. That's why Iron Man's one of the best characters as well, because he is like that, because they've made him like that.
And I feel like go on.
No, I was just gonna say they didn't. They probably didn't care about it as much back then. Like,
yeah, they were able to go a bit bolder because they don't have to worry about the audience of like whole kids like enjoying it. But I suppose now with Disney Plus buying everything, Marvel needs to be a lot more careful now that it is like kid friendly. Now that
same as Star Wars as well.
Yeah, so like films like Iron Man are probably not very kid friendly at all, are they?
No,
like, they don't have like sex scenes per se, but they almost did. You know.
it's literally the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Star Wars as well, I think was almost butchered. Like with episodes 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9.
It's almost butchered everything that's gone before. which is a
Yeah.
real shame. I feel like there's
I think
God.
this might be like controversial, but for like them kind of trying too hard to push strong female leads and feminism onto the story
I feel
as
like
well.
diversities for diversity's sake is a bit of a problem because they kind of sacrifice the story, or maybe because they just failed to write a good story with those leads. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense, I feel like there are definitely stories they could write with a female lead, and it could be really good, but they just got writers that just didn't do that.
Mm.
And I don't think, yeah,
I think just not having George Lucas even like because I think there's a reason Episode 5 is the best film. Like well, most people's opinion anyway, is because George Lucas, he's a good ideas man. He's not. I don't think he's the best director. Hence why Episode 1 and 2 aren't like amazing.
yeah, and he's not the best
Um,
writer either. Like considering the
no,
dialogue is like laughable, but it's so
yeah. So that's
memeable
why
now.
Episode 5, like he does the story, he does that stuff, but he doesn't write or direct it. That's why it's so strong, I think. Um,
I think yeah, these films definitely need to be like collaborations of everyone's strengths. And
yeah,
George Lucas definitely did the like I think by the time we got to episode 3, and even like the things he did with episode 1 as well, like he didn't know how to do certain things. So he got like the best composers out there to do the score. Then he got the best choreographers out there to do the fight scenes. And I think the score and the fight scenes from episodes 1, 2, and 3 are just like next level. And like to give us like not the Duel of the Fates, but the Battle of Mustafar between Obi-Wan and Anakin is actually just one of the greatest probably fight scenes ever made.
yeah, yeah,
And then you look at like the fight scenes in episodes 7, 8, and 9, and it's just like, how the hell are we going backwards? You know, like Kylo Ren does like excellent stuff because his fighting style is like so aggressive.
To be fair, I
powerful.
really like The Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force Awakens works well, but because of the lack of like consistent directing over the next 2 and writing, it just like falls apart because there's no continuity and there's no growth towards anything, you know?
I wonder what it would have been like if they let J.J. Abrams do the directing for all 3 films and let his ideas run, but also let George Lucas kind of have his piece in it as well.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked well. Because like Ryan Johnson obviously ruined this number 8, I think, and then number 9, J.J. Abrams, they brought him back. And I think he spent too much of the film trying to like correct mistakes rather than just going with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think number 8 was just kind of like a big mess of ideas, and it just felt far too plot holy. There were huge parts of it I really liked.
Yeah, I really like the
felt
scene in where Snoke dies, and then although Snoke was a shit character in the end, I really like his like death scene and whatnot.
Yeah, and like that whole fight scene between all the Red Guards and Kylo and Rey, and the Kylo Rey's like conflict throughout is really good.
Yeah,
but like the whole idea that the Jedi are kind of obsolete is true, but they never explained it properly. And there were some really nice scenes they cut out that explained why the Jedi needed to die and why they not die, so but like why they needed to like stop being, and like that's taking such like a full frontal approach like they did back in like episodes 2 and 3, because the Jedi are meant to be not even peacekeepers but kind of just like observers, and they only really intervene when the Sith become alive, kind of thing. And the Jedi's hypocrisy is what led to like the birth of the Galactic Empire and the fall of the Jedi themselves, and
yeah,
that's just not addressed properly, so it just doesn't make sense, which is a shame.
Yeah, and I think 1 and 2, the problems with them, I think, are they've got this like political based story and tried to make it into a kids film. Like they're so much more because there's a lot more interest in like selling the toys and making money out of it. So they put like characters like Jar Jar Binks that like a 3-year-old's going to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just making because that could have been good. Like the Clone Wars is like political based, and they made it like for kids as well, and it works.
Yeah. I think it's kids, but really, really dark. Not even undertones, but dark scenes as well.
Yeah,
like you have executions, slavery, prostitution, like political warfare and terrorism, but it's
Yeah.
like dressed up as a kids show.
Which
And
is why it doesn't work, I think, is the main.
I think I think it would work really well if it had the budget and to be a live action, and just had the right people behind it. It's just such a hard thing to balance. And I think episodes 1, 2, and 3 would have been really good if just maybe, I don't know, the writing had been explained in a better way. And because like Hayden Christensen gets loads of hate over why the way he played Anakin, and it was really bad and whatever. But like if you watch breakdown videos of it, like he played it perfectly.
Yeah.
It just wasn't
Bad scripting.
the
Bad
exposition.
screenwriting.
You don't explain everything, but the everything in the film doesn't kind of lean towards to show why he acts this way, so that the audience can't make that big of a jump to explain that he's like socially fucked up and like been like oppressed his whole life and held back, and he knows he's powerful and doesn't want to lose Padme in the same way
Yeah.
he lost his mum, and he can literally see it happening because he's having the same visions, and the only man that he's ever like listened to turns out to be a Sith, and he's forced to make a snap decision against like Mace Windu, someone he doesn't even like and hates, between that and then his wife, and obviously he's going to cut off Mace Windu's hand, and then once he's in for a penny, he's in for a pound kind of thing. None of that's really shown properly, and then you can't say, oh, the audience doesn't understand if all of the audience doesn't understand. It's obviously the fault on the filmmaker. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's there when you like really think about it and have it explained to you, but not when you just leave it down to the kids.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't know. Like, I watch it now and it's quite like, obvious, like that kind of thing. But it's just like as a kid trying to watch a story that's like politically based, you just don't understand that kind of stuff as like a kid, so it doesn't work.
And I think maybe another point of it is they maybe even dumbed it down a bit too much.
Yeah.
With some of the romantic scenes between Anakin and Padme, it was just too basic
like
and too
sand.
unconvincing. And
Yeah.
so like it doesn't quite work as a kids film because it's a bit too political, and it doesn't work as an adults film because the dialogue's not there either. So I think they might have just missed it in both respects. But then again, it's like these films are like now the most popular. 1, 2, and 3 are more popular than the others among people of our age, just because like the meme content. Even though 4, 5, and 6, you probably prefer 4, 5, and 6. But
yeah, I think it's nostalgia based as well. Like, like
definitely.
when was it the Mandalorian did that like Luke Skywalker scene?
Mm-hmm.
It just reminded me of being like 5 years, because that came out at a similar time to this, The Incredibles, which we've kind of gone on topic of. But it came out at a similar time to this, number 3, and I just remember like watching the Mustafar battle, Duel of Fates, and just being like, oh my god, this is insane. And like that's kind of what made me fall in love with Star Wars, and watching that Luke Skywalker scene again, which like reminded me of why it's so good, like why I love it so much.
No, yeah, I agree completely.
So it's like a nostalgia thing, I think.
Yeah, it's like I've
films.
loved the idea of Star Wars for ages, and like the toys and the idea and like the clones and just everything, you know. And kind of like it's the whole thing is like an orchestrated plan to topple the Republic and reinstate like a grand chancellor who's in charge of everything, who then become an emperor. And it's just so well done and well written on a larger scale.
As like a story, as like an idea. Yeah.
But then again, you need to think about like they were trying to balance this all with like being like literally at the forefront of like computer animation and special effects at that time. Like was it 1999, and then what was the next one, like 2002?
2002 and 2005.
Yeah, that's like no one else was doing those things anywhere near as well, and like the amount, like he's getting pressure from everyone because he's spending too much money, and it's like The Incredibles, it was doing the exact same thing in like a different branch and a different avenue, and just it paid off so well. And then obviously something like 1999 with Star Wars Phantom Menace didn't quite pay off. It was a shame because it could have. But looking at,
I don't think Phantom Menace is actually that bad.
Yeah, I watched it again the other day, and it wasn't as bad as the time I previously watched it. But it's not as good as I thought it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, no.
But if you look at like Revenge of the Sith, like physically, it is just excellent for the time. It's just like the scenes they create are just fantastic. Like costume
Yeah.
design and animations and everything is just fantastic. And choreography and as a stylized what Star Wars should be, I feel like that's what all of Star Wars should aim to be.
Yeah.
The writing can change and yeah. And like the stuff they're doing with Mandalorian really gives like it's actually fantastic. That gives me so much hope for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah. But with the Mandalorian, it's just like because with this like sequels, it's just like, oh, let's just get like the big directors in and the people that can make the money and kind of be politically correct and whatnot. But with the Mandalorian, they're just like, come on, let's just get Jon Favreau and everyone else who loves Star Wars and just
Dave
make like
Filoni
a
and-
Western style, make a Western style like amazing thing that actually makes sense.
And what I like about that is they haven't tried to push female characters, and yet it's ended up being mainly female characters, and it just works well because each of the characters are there for a reason.
Because it's more naturally like that.
Because what you've got Fennec, and then you've got the lady, the drop trooper, who's actually been removed now because of
what's her name?
anti-Semitic.
Cara Dune.
Yeah, because of anti-Semitic comments on social media, which is a shame.
Yeah,
because
it is a shame.
do
you think they'll recast her? Do you think they'll just get rid of her?
I don't know. Disney like don't want to be seen to be doing the wrong thing, so they might not.
Yeah.
It's not like a James Gunn situation. She's not pivotal. But then also you have I can't remember her name. Like the two Mandalorian women as well.
Yeah, the pink one. I can't remember her name.
One with ginger hair.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't remember.
Bo-Katan and her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when it's like it's written into the story and it works well. Because I feel like I don't know, I didn't really like a lot of WandaVision because they had loads of female characters, but I didn't really understand the purpose. Like you know, Carol Danvers had that fighter pilot friend, and
the daughter, yeah.
She had powers, but we don't know why she had powers or where she came from. She didn't really do anything important. None of that was explained, and then she disappeared at the end.
It seems like they've just thrown her in there so they could make like another story out of it.
Which is it's just a bit annoying.
It wasn't like naturally done. It was just like, oh, let's just give her powers in WandaVision, so now we can make another series.
She couldn't break through the barrier before, but then all of a sudden she knew her worth, so she was able to break through the barrier. But it's just like it's just lazy writing, I think, and no one really wants to call that out.
Yeah, I agree. Because if anyone does call that out, they'll probably get cancelled. Yeah, it's quite sad, right?
Anyway,
well.
Probably get back to Incredibles, I think.
Yeah, we've kind of gone off topic for like 20 minutes.
Well, I hope Leon keeps that in because that was a nice conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's all kind of surrounding Disney. And stuff anyway.
It's related to Disney and like. I kind of like how Pixar operates as its own entity from Disney.
Yeah.
But then also saying things about like controversy. I think I don't know about films, but most games that come out that have controversial items in them usually do the best. Like GTA is always controversial and then always just like cleans up shop, or like Red Dead Redemption. And I feel like films have to balance that line as well. Like if they can't be too controversial, like All the Money in the World with Kevin Spacey, him just getting axed because it's just too controversial, obviously, because allegations of like sexual harassment. But I don't know. It's a tough one to like kind of balance. It needs to be controversial in the right ways, I think.
Yeah, it's the balance has got to be there, definitely. He's just beating up all the guards. Did you see the van rattling?
Yeah. Why do they even have that kind of van there? Like, I don't really understand. Like, where are they going?
No, I guess yeah. They could have been in the room watching TV. It doesn't really make sense.
They've got like hover gliders and all these things, and they've just got a little camper van on the side.
Yeah. To be fair, it would be quite fun to sim on them little fans.
Hmm. I have some statistics about how fast Dash is. How fast do you reckon he can run?
It's got to be if he can run on water. It's got to be. I reckon he breaks the sound barrier.
What is the sound barrier?
I don't know actually.
Nah, I reckon. Well, I have the number written down here, and I don't think he breaks the sound barrier. Like, there's no like sonic boom when you run this past.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, no. Yeah, you're right. Speed
Oh,
of
Ross,
sound.
it's your scene.
Where's my super suit? What? Where is my super suit? I put it away. Where? Why do you need to know? I need it. Don't you do? Oh, I fucked it up. We've done this dinner for 2 months. The public is in danger. My evening's in danger. Tell me where my super suit is, woman. We are talking about the greater good. Greater good? I am your wife. I am the greatest good you're ever gonna get. That scene is so iconic. I fucked it up though. The
Right,
speed
so
of
Dash.
sound is 343 meters per second. What? How fast is Dash?
Dash is 200 miles an hour.
200 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast. Not gonna lie.
That is pretty quick. Hang on. 343 meters per second. 2 miles an hour. Oh no, yeah, the speed of sound's about 760 miles an hour.
Yeah, nah, he's not like a Concorde.
That is pretty quick though, 200 miles an hour. That's like an F1 car pretty much.
And then Elastigirl, she can stretch up to 30 meters long and be as thin as 1 millimeter.
That's crazy.
That's
Fat
quite
Stanley.
thin.
Some paper.
Mm.
Oh, probably a little bit thicker than paper, but that's crazy. What happens to our organs? Do they stretch as well?
Yeah, they must do. Hope so, unless you can't breathe. The Incredibles was first meant to actually be called the Invincibles.
Oh yeah, there's another film, isn't there?
So I think they scrapped that one. It was first actually meant to be a Warner Brothers production, because that was the place that Brad Bird was working at.
Yeah. I think being Pixar was a good move. Because I suppose Pixar had the kind of the strong animations there.
Definitely. It's kind of cool how every film, like kind of like Pixar or these big brands do, is just pushing the technology, especially in this period, more and more.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time they push the technology, it actually does better for some reason. Like,
yeah,
they never
take the risk and it pays off pretty much.
Yeah, they never really. I think it's always when they play it safe or cut corners with money, that's when it goes pear-shaped. So think about like when we did Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. They forked out a huge amount of money on the budget for like all CGI characters. I can't remember what the actual title of Davy Jones was, but he was like the first all motion capture CGI character or something like this. And that had never been done before, and it just produced them one of the biggest box offices a film of that budget had ever seen, even though it was like they don't even think they would break even. So that's just nice that they kind of get that reward for it.
Yeah, well, it's led on to things now like Thanos, like he's one of the biggest villains, he's all motion captured, and
yeah,
it's and like his whole face is CGI and whatnot. It's meant that now they can do that kind of thing because someone's got to do it first.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's got to be the first one through the gate, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and like you watch this, and like I never even like thought about the fact this was the first human animated Pixar film because it looks so good anyway.
Yeah, it like acts with confidence. It just goes, it pushes everything as far as they can go. I think something the animators were saying was that they would always under animate, or at least one of them would, and then he'd always look back at like the final result and he's, oh, I should have pushed that further. I should have pushed that further. And what the kind of like the lead animators like Tony and that were doing, where they're pushing people to always just push and push and push as far as they wanted to go, without it being too silly, but sillier than
Yeah.
they thought. And it really does pay off how all the characters.
Yeah, 100%. Because there's nothing like, because even though I was like, we're watching it right now and trying to like pick it apart, but there's nothing I've really seen that's made me being like, oh, that's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Everything holds up, and it's a 17-year-old animation that holds up to this day. That's impressive.
We've seen one thing where he tore a book in half, and we're like, that was a bit shit.
Yeah,
and then maybe some of the texturing could be better, but it's like, it's ridiculous. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, now, if this came out now, I really think it would just hold up.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just clever as well. It's just excellent writing. Like, even from like an action standpoint, the actions could easily just be, I hit him, he hits harder, but it's not. They have to outthink this machine, and they have to use all of their powers together.
Yeah, like right now, Miss Incredibles is, because I like that as well, because like you see, I've seen earlier in the film where Miss Incredible threw the American football to Dash and he sprinted and got it from really far away.
Yeah,
and they've just done it again with Syndrome's remote.
Exactly. So there's like throwbacks that are like previously built into the film.
Yeah, but like really creative ways of using their powers as well. Like just then, where Elastigirl picked up the fire hydrant floor, like metal cover thing, whatever it is. Yeah, and she cover. Like put her arm around the lamppost and like flinged it, so like a slingshot. I like that.
And Frozone making snow instead of like ice, like protect Dash's fall as well.
Yeah, this gets really creative with the powers without going too far.
And it's not like they just find like a weird way of defeating it all of a sudden. Like in a Marvel film, I feel like they just try really hard and this time they manage to do it, you know, just because they've all tried really hard and now they're a team, as before they weren't. Here, like they do work together and do show that bond, but then they kind of like, Mr. Incredible builds on his own experiences of like, the only thing that's enough to destroy it is itself, so they use a part of itself.
Yeah.
It's also kind of weird how there isn't an off button on that switch.
They
can't just turn the robot off.
Surely there must be.
Maybe there is, and they just don't know how to do it, which is understandable. I can't get my TV remote to work half the time, and it's a TV. So
I know what you mean.
You just stay on for 5 minutes.
Over 2 minutes. And like just then, the Mr. Incredible's the only one that's fought this robot before, so he's the one who's like, oh, the only way we can destroy it is itself.
Yeah.
It like thinks, yeah.
They have to listen to each other, and it's something they haven't really been doing the entire film, so it's showing trust in.
Yeah.
And I love how strong the mum is as a character in this, you know. I love how like strong a character the mum is, like Helen is in this whole thing as well. You know, it doesn't feel forced or anything.
No, it's like she's like a commanding mother, but to everyone.
Yeah, and like
she's just got that like
she's
motherly,
protective and powerful, and you know, but she like, kind of works together with Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible is not the smartest person. He thinks he can do everything himself and he can't lose anyone, and he shows that progression, and it's just. Really
but I think that comes back from this all happened in the first place because he rejected Incredible because he said he works alone.
Exactly. So it's all about picking up his own faults, and I think it's quite. I didn't really pick that up. That's nice.
I didn't either, but it makes sense.
It's big brain. These two that saying that's the way to do it. These two old people, they're like the lead animators of like original Disney, I think. No, it's not just saying like that's how you fight a robot, but that's how you make a film, I think.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice. And this is a nice bit where they feel like everything's over, the film's done.
Yeah.
But, they haven't caught
robot with like shit Jack. And that after they defeat the robot, Violet puts her hair back so she's like overcome her.
Yeah,
I think it's
not hiding anymore.
Yeah, she's proud of her powers now. Before they like hindered her, now she's like, I can use them for good.
Hmm.
Vacation ever. But yeah, this bit as well where Elastigirl's on the phone. Corey's talking to her like, "What? What's going on? This is incredible."
Things are
And,
getting really weird.
Yeah, but then you watch Jack attack, and it shows like everything that went on. I mean, that's why it's so funny.
Yeah, I think it works better that not being in the film actually.
Yeah.
Than being in the film, definitely, because then it's so much of a shock when you turn up and the kid's got powers. Because you haven't actually seen him do anything yet, have you?
No, but it's funny he does like in the sky, and no one can see him as well. And so then, like, obviously in the second film, we already know that Jack has powers, and we knew that they were going to find out that Jack has powers. I think it was in the trailer as well for the second film, but it works well in that sense. And the only thing that did disappoint me about the second film, it's obviously at the end of this film, is the Underminer.
Yeah.
And then at the start of the second film, it's like 15 minutes, and then it goes again.
Yeah, and I like that though, because I didn't really want the Underminer to be the villain of the next one.
I guess so, like, but that means if they make a third one, it's going to come back again.
Because the Underminer is quite like a physical villain, and I feel like films like this, it's nicer when the villain's more kind of like a mental challenge. You know, they have to work together to beat him, rather than it being a matter of like strength and physicality. Otherwise, Mr. Incredible would just go for it every time.
Yeah, I wonder if they make a third one, that it's going to be how far in the future it's going to be. Is it going to be a direct carry on again, or will they ever make a third one? Or will it be like Jack will be grown up? I
feel like they were more or less straining for a plot with this one, even though it was with the second one, even though it was good. I feel like they don't need to do anything else. If they can do it, I'll watch it. But
as Brad Bird said, he didn't want to make anything unless he could. Yeah. I like that as well. How Syndrome died. It's coming back to the cape thing. No capes.
Yeah, no capes.
He died because his cape got sucked in.
And him caring about like style and how things looked more than functionality. So that's another nice little. He didn't die for a random reason that wasn't previously addressed.
Yeah. Because of the capes. Yeah. Because it's like Miss Incredible was like, the capes look really cool. And that's obviously what he was thinking. But that was totally wicked. I love that.
That's perfect as well, because that's like previously mentioned. When Jack was in the sky as well, he only transformed 4 times, but they planned for him to transfer like 5 times. He was meant to turn into like goo thing that was going to like wrap all around Syndrome, but they had to cut it out in the end because it's too difficult to animate.
Yeah. Go on.
I don't think they did that in the second film either, which is a shame. But that would have been.
He has like laser vision and stuff in the second film, but
yeah, I think it's powerful.
I think if I did the third film, it would be interesting to see maybe like a Jack story, like him finding his like power, or see if he does have like.
I'd quite like to see them all be older now.
Yeah,
like a lot older. So like we pick up kind of like where like Dash and Violet both have their own kind of families. They're kind of balancing whether like maybe Violet's told her husband that she is super, but Dash hasn't told his husband, his wife or whatever. And then Jack's like maybe found the power finally, and maybe Mr. Incredible's died, but Elastigirl's still around, like something like that. Something that's kind of like throws the dynamic out completely. Something that's finding that new balance. That'd be quite nice to watch. I
like that bit just then. That was a bit with Jack in the race, and they're like, put it back, go on, not too fast. Come in second. And the guy next to him, here's the Underminer. The Underminer.
He's played by John, is it Ratzenberger, which is like Pixar's
Is
like
that?
good luck charm. He plays at least
Oh,
one voice in every single Pixar film.
is
There's
that
a
the guy that does the Mac in Cars, and then there's that scene at the end of Cars where it's got all the same voice. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the credits of well, that's the end of the film. The credits of Cars. It has a bit where they go to like a drive-in, and they're watching like loads of other Pixar films, but as Cars. And then
I don't remember this.
it's Mac watching. Wait, I'll see if I can find it and send you a link. Such a great film. I never get like. I feel like I think there was one point like a couple of years ago where I watched this like 4 times in 2 weeks just for whatever reason, and I still then never got bored of it. And like just now, it's just it just holds up. Like I've watched that so many times. I've probably watched that more than any other film ever, to be honest. And it's just still like I love it still.
Yeah, it's completely bulletproof, I think, and for the time as well. Like it being pioneer, even if it wasn't a pioneering film, it'd be excellent. And then the fact that it was all the things it was doing for the first time is just crazy. It's just I think it's probably unfairly so, but probably my favorite superhero film ever. I think because it hasn't really got much competition, but that's also because no one else can do what they did. And I don't know. I feel like we should rate it as well for the podcast, and then the others can rate it later.
Yeah, I could do, to be fair. Unless we wait for actually no, you know what, yeah.
Yeah, we could rate it now. Yeah, we could rate it, do best actor.
Okay, that's I'll just send you the link to the
Alright,
the Cars thing I was talking about. Dun, 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 dun. I love the animations for the credit scene as well. Tell me when you're on the video that I sent
you. I'm on it.
Go like 3 minutes in.
Oh dear me. That Toy Story.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Hanks doing that?
Yeah, it's actually Tom Hanks.
Oh wow, this is really cool. Yeah. How have I never seen this?
Maybe turn it off for the credits.
Yeah, but I wasn't into post-credit scenes in like 2000 and fucking whatever this was, 2006 or something.
You on a Bug's Life?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I like how they addressed it.
Yeah, I've got the full list of characters he plays. So in Toy Story, he plays the pig. Bug's Life, he plays that little cricket thing and the circus thing. And then Toy Story 2, the pig again. Monsters Inc., the Abominable Snowman. In Finding Nemo, you know the school of fish that come over and make all the shapes and then make like the canyons and go over it. No, go through it.
And make like the arrows and stuff. Yeah.
So he played all of those fish. And then he plays Mac. He plays the Underminer. He plays the waiter in Ratatouille. He plays, I think, one of the fat guys in Wall-E. You know, just sits on one of the chairs and he stands up and he's like, "Wee." He plays one of the builders in Up. In Brave, I think he plays one of the Scottish warlords. They are Scottish, aren't they? They're not Irish.
Yeah, they're Scottish, yeah.
Okay, good. Don't want to be rude. Inside Out, he plays one of like the work people that install the new desk.
Oh yeah.
And then The Good Dinosaur, I haven't seen that, but he plays like a velociraptor or something.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh, and then
so
also
funny.
Coco, he also plays one skeleton that just says gracias.
Quite funny. It's got him in the studio for one day. He's pretty old now, isn't he?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
John Ratzenberger, 73. Oh, he was in Cheers. Oh, was he like a main character in Cheers?
He's also in
Cliff
Soul.
Calvin.
He just plays a subway New Yorker.
This is Empire Strikes Back. Who is in Empire Strikes Back?
Cool. Well, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Give
so
it a
whatever.
rating. Then they can choose to cut out or not.
Yeah, let's do the ratings.
First.
Me or you?
You go first.
I don't know. I kind of want to give it very, very high.
Yeah.
I think because this film has absolutely no equal, and it just absolutely slaps every time. I'm just going to give it. It's either a 9 or a 9.1, and I feel like I've never given a 9.1 before.
You haven't.
And I can't. No, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does slap. It slaps hard. 9 sounds like ridiculous because we've given it to like such big films, but this film is just like it's one of my. I don't know whether it's just biased because we how nostalgic we find it, and obviously we're fans of superhero films and whatnot, so it's for us a lot better than maybe it is for other people. But I have to go high as well. I think I'll go with an 8.8. I reckon
That's fair.
it's very very good. Like as I say, we might be biased towards it, but just because it's nostalgic for us, we love superhero films, and this is for us like one of the best superhero films. Like it's just so well rounded as well. Like any like Pixar, as I say with any Pixar film, like whatever age you are, you're probably gonna like it, and like this does it again. And like such a huge part of animation as well, as we said, the first Pixar film to have human leads. That's a huge thing. Like,
I feel like for Pixar films, a lot of them try to do double meanings for a lot of things, so they apply to like different ages. I feel like this film doesn't even try to do that. It has kind of like one layer of conversation that lots of people can take different things from. And I think like you can take just as much from it as a kid and not lose out on anything. And as an adult, you can still just be just as captivated by it.
Yeah,
I think that's really hard to do, as like we've discussed with lots of films. And I think it does that perfectly as well.
Yeah, and like I mean, as well, it just shows for itself. It got nominated for 3 Oscars and won 2 of them. Like, that's huge. That's huge for an animated film. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think our ratings are justified. I'd say.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would disagree with that just because it is so high. But
yeah, I'd like to see what Leon and Mason say about those.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Best Actor as well?
It's quite hard to do, but I want to go Samuel Jackson, but I think that's just because it's funny. I think I think Bob did it so well. I don't know who did the voice of Bob.
I don't know. Have a look. I feel like Bob does an excellent, Helen does an excellent part, but I feel like in terms of not having a real background in acting and still delivering a perfect performance and one that's kind of resonated throughout the years, I'd have to give it to Brad Bird for Edna Mode.
For Edna, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't know, there's just so much power and like eccentricism just coming from that voice. He's like, pull yourself together, you know, like he
obviously had like an idea in his mind of what it wanted to be, and he's put that through.
Yeah, and he tried to find someone who could do this, and no one could, so he just did it.
Yeah, like Lily Tomlin's a huge actress, and she's someone like you to it.
And I'm just glad that
it speaks for itself.
He had the confidence to do it himself, because it just wouldn't be the same. So it's kind of like, it's not, I can't say it's not acting, because it is acting, even though it is comedy acting. It's, I don't know, it is excellent. So I'd have to go, with Bill Bird again.
Yeah. Craig T. Nelson did the voice for Mr. Incredible. Some of his other, he's in the Poltergeist. He was in a TV series called Coach, like the original Poltergeist. Blades of Glory, Get Hard, The Proposal, a few other things. So yeah.
So that who you're going with?
Yeah, go on. I think he put a lot of emotion into that character and did the kind of everything that needed to be done was done. I can't fault any of that. And
No,
being the main
no.
character, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what's difficult is because I think even though, well, I suppose Dash and Violet are more supporting roles, both of them played their parts to a T, and then Syndrome as well could so easily take this, and then so could Helen. Like, is a very difficult one to rate. Yeah, all of the roles are just perfect.
Yeah.
And I think if there was like an animation kind of Oscars, this one would take home more than several. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If like even like all time, and especially for like that year or that decade, it'd be stupid.
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, it's got like Toy Story 3 and stuff to live up to as well, like that kind of stuff. And I'd say it's my favorite Pixar film. And to be honest, like the films that when we were young, we remember and were nostalgic to us are like Finding Nemo and Monsters Inc. and that kind of stuff. And this still sits above all of them in my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to do I Wish as a Pop Vinyl award?
Yeah. Oh no, they have.
You've
have
probably
pop finals.
You've probably got a few of them.
I've got the whole. Well, they're from The Incredibles 2. The whole family, like the family and Frozone. They have the villain ones as well. They haven't. I don't. Do they have a Syndrome one? I think the original ones are quite expensive, and obviously older, so they don't look as good. So, yeah, there is a Syndrome pop. Pretty much everyone has a thing. Even Edna, she has like multiple ones, so there's not really anything we can do for that.
But if you had to choose just one, what would it be? Or maybe
I think I'd make like a scene one. Because they do the movie moments. Maybe do something with that. Maybe it'd be quite cool having when Syndrome like holds them up in like the freeze ray.
Oh yeah, that'd be
having
cool.
like the whole family inside the freeze ray.
And like his fingers like crossed over.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably choose. I'd probably choose 3. I don't know if it'd be like a scene or something. Maybe I'd choose. I was going to say Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone, but in the 1950s costumes.
Oh yeah.
Sat on like interview chairs, so you can like see from like the side of like them more like, and then like cameras in front of them kind of thing, being interviewed. I feel like that. I just like the 1950s vibe.
Yeah.
Or
there is one of him in his blue suit, but yeah, they'll like the chairs doing the interview. That's a really good idea.
And I really like Elastigirl's suit as well.
The red and white. Yeah,
the red and white over.
I like how they brought that back in the second film as well.
It just feels a lot more like kind of not retro, but yeah. It's much more aged, or maybe like a gazer beam. I don't know.
That'd be quite cool.
All
right, should we wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up. You can do the outro, or we can leave it to Leon.
I'm trying to think what it is. It's at Corona Cinema on Instagram.
Yep.
Listen on Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts now.
Oh wow! Yeah. All over the place.
Yeah. So, go well.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you.
You can cut that if you want, Neil.
Yeah, you do what you want, Leon. Cool. This is our nice little bonus episode. So we'll probably do another one of these in a few months.
Yeah.
And we'll try and decide what kind of film.
Oh, we've got another bonus episode coming up.
Oh, what's that?
The first year awards.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's we've got next weekend. We've got the what we're doing, Cornetto trilogy.
Yes, we are.
And then the weekend after, we have the first year anniversary awards.
Okay, so we can look forward to that, and we'll figure out what we're doing for that then.
Yeah. All right.
Excellent.
See you later.
In a bit.